So before I dive into the individual strategies, I want to go over the spectrum that I use for evaluating strategies. And I often coach my clients through to help them figure out, hey, what is the right strategy for them and in the market that we're investing in. So this is in no particular order, nor is it a comprehensive list. But I want you to think about a spectrum on here from basically like low to high, easy to hard, along those lines. So we have to look at deal availability. How easy is to go out there and find a deal for the type of strategy that we want to do? Is it something I can find, within 20 hours and leverage a real estate agent? Or do I have to go out there and knock on 3,000 doors and spend a few months to find an off-market deal? How much time is it going to take? And that's not just finding the property, but then executing the strategy. If it's a rehab or a flip or managing the property, like it takes time and mental bandwidth to go out there and execute these strategies. What's the level of skill needed? Now, for most of us going through this course right now, we're going to always increase our skill. We're going to get better at different strategies. But again, different strategies take different skill sets to go out there and be able to execute. And I'm a big believer that you focus on what you're strong at and really focus on the skill set you have and leverage that. What's the risk of the investment as well? How risky is the investment? How likely or unlikely are you to lose money? Network. Some strategies rely heavily on having a strong network of real estate investors and contractors and a big real estate team that takes years to develop. And of course, again, as you get more into real estate investing, as you work more with your agent and your lender and do more work together, typically your network expands. But some strategies require a lot more higher level network or higher level people in your team than other strategies do. How much capital do you have to go out there and invest? And this could be your own capital. And of course, there's always creative ways to go out there and find other capital. You could borrow it from someone. You could go out there and use a hard money lender or use some other type of lender to go out there. But ultimately, you're going to need some type of capital to buy the property, to potentially rehab the property, and always keep some cash reserves for those contingency of like, oh yeah, that happened. I need to be able to write that check and float that. How easy is it to finance this property? And so again, depending on the market conditions and what type of asset you're buying, different financing will be available. And a key point in going out there and building wealth in real estate is using leverage. And the way we're able to use leverage is through financing. And that could be traditional financing. It could be hard money. It could be private money. There's various ways to go out there and get financing. And the last thing that I want to talk about, because this took me a little bit of time to realize myself, is are you investing or are you starting a business or a second job or are you owning a job essentially? And I'll relate this to, I think a lot of people can relate to is, buying stocks like, hey, I'm going to buy an index fund. I'm going to buy the S&P 500 versus day trading or doing some short-term trades to, hey, put a call, put an option or buy or sell a stock and then over a couple of hours or days execute to make money on there. And to go out there and buy an index fund, that's investing. That usually takes very little time, very little research. And then, to go out there and buy it, you go spend 2 minutes and click around on your online investor portal and you can buy, ever how much stock you want to. Now, day trading is a lot harder. It takes a lot more time, a lot more effort, has a lot more risk. Again, go back to that deal spectrum we were just talking about. It takes a lot more of all of that. And a lot more people lose money in day trading than they do investing in index funds. And I'm one of those people as well. I have made a lot more money by investing in the S&P 500 than I have by anything I've done in day trading. So hopefully that gives you like a reference point for when we start talking about going out there and investing in real estate or going out there and starting a real estate business. Again, I'm not saying one is right or wrong, but I want to be very clear that investing and starting a real estate business are different things. Like a lot of people say, I'm going to go out there and invest in real estate. I'm going to go flip a property. Flipping a property is not real estate investing. That is a job, or that is a business that you are starting. You are going out there and finding a property, and you have to find it for under market value. You have to go in there and buy it, and you have to go and manage the rehab, and then sell it. And then usually within 3 to 6 months, you have that, from end to end, and you're walking away with essentially a really big payday, hopefully. Well, that is a job, or that is a business, and you get that big chunk of money, and then you can go out there and invest it, or you can go out there and buy another flip. But flipping is a business, it is not investing. So I want to be very clear about that, because I often see people muddying the waters in those two things. And again, flipping or doing some type of real estate business is not a bad thing. My real estate business is a real estate agent, and that's how I make the majority of my income. And then I take that income and I use it to go out there and invest in rental properties. So as you go through these next modules and we talk about specific strategies, remember that real estate investing is more than just numbers, and just kind of have frank discussion with yourself, in your internal dialogue, with your team members, with your business partner if you have any, with your spouse if you have one, for what is realistic for you, and make sure that your entire team is in alignment. And I would really, really recommend you have some in-depth conversations with them, because going out there and getting halfway through a flip and then, starting to lose money is a really tough pill to swallow. And so this is where we kind of want to measure twice and cut once, to use a common term.